So as I said, I got these cheap tickets on Facebook to go to the theater last night. I didn't know how great those seats were. I told you, 8th row, right? I didn't realize. I thought they'd be 8th row, way to the right, way to the left, somewhere. What? No. Right smack dab in the middle of the auditorium, 8th row, center section. There's not a better seat in the house. Welcome back to Rob's Feed today. This is episode number 96, and I'm Rob Schendel. When you're talking about your basic proscenium theater, the stage in front, the audience behind, I'm pretty much a snob when it comes to the seats that I prefer to have. Generally speaking, I like being on the main floor. That's called the orchestra section. I like to be in the center of it. And I like to be, like the first rows 1 to 10. So when I bought these tickets with the promo code, I wasn't expecting the greatest seats. I thought there would be an issue. The less desirable seats are the ones that they needed to dispose of, to sell. So I thought that, granted, I knew it was H is the 8th letter of the alphabet, so I'd be in row 8, and I was. But I thought I'd be way to the right or way to the left and not have a good view of the whole entire stage. I didn't expect that I'd be right there in the center, equidistant from both aisles. It was so neat, and it only cost me $25. I knew that I wouldn't have the benefit or the fun of seeing Dolly Parton herself. Now, if you remember, this is the show 9 to 5, the musical. And I commented that Dolly Parton herself was going to be there for the opening, which is actually the next night. How I saw a whole entire show that hadn't opened yet, I don't know, but everything said Dolly was going to be there for the opening. So I missed seeing that. And actually, I would have ordered the tickets for that performance had I been aware, but I had seen the headline that Dolly was going to be at the opening, and when the tickets became available, the first night was Tuesday night, so I thought that was going to be. It wasn't until I had already ordered and paid for my ticket that I realized she wasn't there for the opening, she was there for the second night. So I'm disappointed in the Chicago Tribune for calling the Wednesday night performance opening night when, no, it wasn't. But that's what they did. The play starts out with a pendulum and a clock, center stage hanging there, and it lights up, and there she is, Dolly Parton, introducing the show. And it starts out with that rousing song, 9 to 5. And everybody knows the song. It was one of her biggest hits. She wrote it. And then, how wonderful is this? You figure there's all these people who work 9 to 5, so the whole entire cast is there, and they're like in their robes and in the shower shaving, and the first thing you see a few hunky, really good-looking men with no shirts on, with a towel wrapped around them. I thought, I'm gonna love this play. Now, if you've ever seen the movie 9 to 5, you know what this is about. It was very true to the movie, very true to the movie. I think they added a few characters. Give you a little background. The 3 women who plot this overthrow of their chauvinistic boss. You see the husband of one of them, the ex-husband of another, and the teenage son of the third. And that was okay. But beyond that, 9 to 5 is the only song I liked in the whole musical. And I left thinking that there are just some things that should be left alone. This was not good theater. The performances were energetic, and the performers were great. Some fabulous voices, and choreography was fine. The sets sucked. It was just basically the cast themselves pushing around these things on wheels that represented either the office or represented the typing pool or represented the bedroom of one of the. And there's just nothing. It's just. I ended up. Remember now, I started off thinking, what a great play this is going to be. I hated it. I literally hated it. And I don't say that very much about a play. But I do not recommend it. I'm sure had I been in the audience along with Dolly herself, that made a lot of difference. But this play is just a bunch of, just the movie, just the story of the movie, probably same script and everything, with some songs thrown in, so it could qualify as a Broadway musical. And maybe one, there's a song called Backwoods Barbie that the character that Dolly Parton played in the movie sings. That was all right song. It's the only song. The only other song besides 9 to 5. And Chicago audiences are just too generous. When I couldn't believe at the final curtain call, when the three women themselves together walk out for the bows, they're spontaneously standing up for them. And yeah, they were good, but it was just a lousy piece again. It's not the performances. The theater, I love that theater. It's beautiful. It's just a lousy play. And then it only ran for 5 months on Broadway. That's why. That was the advance ticket sale before it opened. And then, word of mouth, nobody bought any more tickets. Sorry, Dolly, I love you. But this sucked. On another note, our friends at LGBTQ Nation have informed us that the United States Supreme Court, who can figure out this United States Supreme Court, that they refuse to hear an appeal by opponents of the D.C. gay marriage law. The U.S. Supreme Court this week refused to hear the appeal of a group of clergy in Washington, D.C., who want to put the city's new marriage equality law on the ballot. Now, this denial of review appears to be the end of the line now for opponents of equal marriage rights in the nation's capital. There is apparently some confusion regarding the suicide of Lance Lunsden in Minnesota this week, and it was attributed to bullying. He may not have committed suicide. They're waiting for toxicology reports to come back, and that won't happen for a couple of weeks. It seems that he's quite small, and he did have a swollen heart muscle. So that could have been the problem. But until those toxicology reports come back, whether or not this was a suicide, they won't know. Nevertheless, the man was bullied, according to his friends on Facebook, and it's got to stop. Question for you. How tolerant is your state? Alternet had a poll, did a survey, and they've come up with the 10 most and 10 least tolerant states in the United States of America. For each state, they consider the number of hate crimes, according to the FBI, the extent of hate crime statutes, the number of complaints of discrimination and based on housing, and the extent of fair housing and workplace laws, the percentage of residents that support same-sex marriage, the extent of legal rights for same-sex couples, and the percentage of residents that are accepting of various religions. Each state was given a score out of 100 points. Ties were broken based on hate crime statistics. If the total points matched, the state with fewer hate crimes in the last year ranked higher. And now for the breakdown. You know where I'm from, don't you? Wisconsin wins for being the most tolerant. Its religious tolerance was quite good. Its gay tolerance leaves room for improvement. Others in the top 10 were Maryland in second place, then Illinois, now I live in Chicago, Illinois, Pennsylvania, Hawaii, California, Minnesota, New Jersey, New Hampshire, and New Mexico. The least 10 tolerant states, finishing 40th in the nation, then going to the worst, Alabama, then to Kentucky, North Dakota, Arizona, Utah, Idaho, Ohio, Nebraska, Kansas, Arkansas, and then Wyoming finishes dead last. I'm going to leave you a link to that story so you can find all the details and locate where your state lies. Lies on the list. You must forgive me, I said the alternate story. Actually, that story came from the dailybeast.com. You can check it out there. Look for the 20 most tolerant states article. I was so excited that I got some feedback on Twitter for this podcast yesterday. And what the tweet basically said, if I can find it here real quick, is that I'm watching your Guns and Hero episode and cracking up. Good stuff. Thank you, Carol E. That was her message on Twitter. By the way, if you subscribed in iTunes, which I hope you do, please go in there and give a little click to rate the podcast. Make a comment like Carol E. did there, but put it on iTunes because we really need the exposure. Appreciate it. If you're new to Rob's Feed today, thanks for stopping by. I hope you subscribe too, but welcome. Some call this podcast a blog, some personal journal, some call it news and politics, and who knows, I don't really know where to classify it myself. But I do read all of the above. A lot of blogs. One of my favorites, AfterElton.com. And if you happen to look at AfterElton.com now, Michael Jensen is the editor of After Elton. But right now there's an article. We were talking about bullying a second ago. Ever watch Glee? You know the character Dave Karofsky on Glee? You know him, don't you? He's the one that pounded up Kirk and then later on kisses him. He's played by an actor by the name of Max Adler. And he's a lot better looking than, as it says it's in the article, the interview, he's a lot better looking than his character on Glee. He's a hell of a lot nicer, too. He's one of the people I saw, he did a great It Gets Better video for the It Gets Better project. And just what a wonderful man. He's so unlike the character. And that's why I'm so pleased about him. I guess that's why I like him even more. Because he's such a despicable character. He's a closeted gay who wants to beat up all the other gays, and it's so refreshing to see that he's not. Recommend check out AfterElton.com. You can go to the article about Max Adler. By the way, if you check out that article, you'll read about him wanting to do a Lady Gaga song, on the show.
Hey there, I'm Max Adler from Glee. I just wanted to take a minute to talk to anybody out there in elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, and even colleges that are being bullied or have ever been bullied. Recently, I've had the opportunity to sit down and talk to a lot of you out there, and it's been a privilege, it's been awesome. But I keep hearing the same scary thing over and over again, and it's that you feel you deserve to be bullied and that you have it coming to you, and that there's nothing that you can do to stop it or change it, and that nobody's has your back. I just want to let you know that's absolutely the wrong way of thinking, and it's not true. You do not deserve to be bullied at all. And I'll tell you a little secret, is most bullies are extremely insecure and want to knock you down a peg to feel better about themselves. So being who you are is what's awesome. It's what makes you special. interesting, fun to talk to, desirable. And I mean, I know that right now in school, your school is your entire universe, and fitting into the mold is what matters, and it's what's so important. But believe me, it's not the coolest thing in the world to do. That breaking the mold and just being you and being who you are is awesome and really rewarding. And if you don't believe me, if you don't want to take my word for it, that's fine. But please call the Trevor Project or check out itgetsbetter.org. You'll see that there's an entire world out there just full of love, without judgment, without prejudice, without ignorance, that's ready just to talk to you and accept you for exactly who you are. So please check that out, and just know that you're not alone in this. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Take care of yourself, please.
I never liked him as much as I did after I saw that video for the first time. I don't know why I'm giving so much attention to Glee this episode, because they're in reruns. But After Elton again is also reporting that the next issue of Entertainment Weekly, which comes out January 29th, which is cover dated January 29th, it should be on the newsstand anytime now. The cover article is Gay Teens on TV, and our friends Kirk from Glee and his boyfriend, well, his friend, Blaine, who's portrayed by Darren Criss, they're the cover boys. Can't wait to read the article. Once again, I'd like to thank you for turning your attention to Rob's Feed today. Please remember to rate and comment, as well as subscribe. And having said all that, until next time, that's all I'm going to say.